WWF Wrestlemania, the arcade game. Does this box art execute? Does it hit? Does it slap? Does it do the things it's supposed to do? I vote yes. I think it does actually execute. Granted, not this low res version, but the box art itself. Criteria 1, are there verbs? Is there action on this box art? Not a whole bunch, but just enough. We are not getting any actions from the wrestlers. They are posing. So there's that, you know, no action from the wrestlers. They're posing. However, there is action with Doink right there doing his electric buzzer. That's pretty much the only action that's on the box art. So granted, technically there is action on the box art, but that's a very, very slim pass. Slim. You are riding the line. WWF, WrestleMania, the arcade game, box art. You were riding the line. Criteria 2 for box art. Does the box art on this game encapsulate what the gameplay experience will be like? Looking at this box art, can you get a good idea of what to expect? This is one of the few times in which it did. Granted, like I said, box art is not great, but just through that coin op screen, that encapsulates what the gameplay experience will be like. They just literally chopped it out from the gameplay itself, but that's fair. That's fair. Like, I feel like it actually does give you an idea of what to expect. And it's also kind of like poor man's meta, because you're playing WWF, the arcade game, and there's WWF arcade coin op that is also playing the WWF arcade game to show you what the WWF arcade game is about. So I feel like that's actually just something as simple as that is successful enough to give you an idea of what to expect, especially in the sense that it's cartoony. Like, this is a deviation from all of WWF's games up to this point. It's a pivot. They went with a cartoony, over-the-top, gimmicky kind of style. And I would argue successfully. They did it successfully. Up until the PS1 era or the N64 video games, wrestling video games, this was probably my favorite wrestling video game for the home consoles. I think this box art narrowly passes. Narrowly passes. But again, like I made with the argument for WCW Super Brawl when we reviewed that for OTL, you have a baked-in audience. Wrestling fans will pick it up because they know the wrestlers on the box. Wrestler fans will pick it up because they want to play video games that are based on the wrestlers that they watch on wrestling. So you have a baked-in audience. So really, when it comes to aiming at your demographic, they're going to buy it and rent it regardless. You could put a wet turd on there. Shawn Michaels giving an elbow drop to a wet turd. Doesn't matter. They'll buy it. They'll rent it because it's wrestling. So the baked-in audience is already there. However, this does at least a little bit more than Super Brawl does. Super Brawl just had 3 of the wrestlers. This has 4. But the fact that they give us a little bit of, some gameplay there, I think that's better than Super Brawl. So I would say this box art is a pass. Very, very narrowly, but it is a pass. It's a good one. Yeah, it is. It is. And we will get to that right now. We have some notes. It's just a sexy turd. Sexy turd! WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game, put a full Nelson on our hearts in November of 1995. It was out in the arcades earlier in the year, but it came out on the Super and the Genesis in November of 95. Chat, if you had to guess, the #1 song in America in November of 1995. It is not Spice Girls. I'm not going to wait for you to guess. I'm just going to tell you right now. The #1 song in America in November of 1995 was Mariah Carey's Fantasy. Sweet, sweet fantasy, baby. This is, for me, as a horny preteen, quintessential Mariah Carey. Hottest Mariah Carey Like, there is no other hot Mariah Carey than Mariah Carey in the Fantasy video, you know? So that was 1995, top of the charts. Midway were our developer and publisher for the arcade original, while Sculptured Software, remember them? We talked about them earlier on this episode. Sculptured Software developed the home ports, while Acclaim published the home ports as well. This game, as I was touching up on a little bit before, this game marks a kind of non-serious shift in presentation of WWF video games. They were no longer presented as a one-on-one like wrestling sports-based theme game, but more instead they were more kind of like a wrestling themed fighting game. This is more in line with being more of a fighter than anything else. Think in the purview of cartoony Mortal Kombat, not technical like Street Fighter. This is more Mortal Kombat. And the fact that it was made by Midway and Acclaim, and, you know, obviously you can tell the Mortal Kombat aspects to it. So WWF's presentation with this was in full-blown gimmick mode, because the wrestlers in the game bleed objects that personify the wrestler themselves. For instance, Lex Luger, dumbbells fly out of him, hearts fall out of Bret Hart, and as we can see in the example here, bowling pins and bowling balls fall out of Doink, because he's a clown. A literal clown. Doink was great. Original Doink was great. I would still argue heel Doink was best. But even goofy face Doink was still good. Like, he was still hilarious. Him trolling on Luna Vachon and Bam Bam Bigelow, I loved it. What was it? Ray Apollo and I can't remember the other Doink. The other shitty Doink, not the good Doink. Matt Bourne was the good Doink. I can't remember the other guy who did it. It was Ray Apollo and somebody else. But even those Doinks, I feel like they did a good job with Doink. Like, not a bad job. The programmer, Mark Turmel, the guy who invented NBA Jam, stated, quote, "I worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for 6 months to get WrestleMania out," end quote. As far as the consoles go, the SNES is seen as the universally inferior version to play. Of course, that was the one that I played the most of. Its inferiority comes from the fact that it omits 2 characters from the roster. One of them being Bam Bam Bigelow, as we see right here. Bammers. He's not in the game, not for the Super. He's on the Genesis, but he's not for the Super. And the other was Yokozuna. We got old Yakazuma. He's a menace. Only one person. Only one possible person is going to get that joke, get that reference. But Yokozuna and Bam Bam, they were not in the Super port. They weren't there. They were in the Genesis, full roster in the Genesis, not in the Super. They got axed for memory space, which is kind of ridiculous. Bad part about taking out Yokozuna and Bam Bam, not just the fact that like Yokozuna was probably one of the better characters to use in the game. Yokozuna was legit. He was good. But you have a roster, you have a skinny roster of 8 wrestlers. And then when you cut 2 of them, it turns your lineup into like an anemic size of 6 characters to use, which is like, to me, in my opinion, that's almost a fucking death sentence to a mid-90s fighter. Even Street Fighter 2 Vanilla, boring ass Street Fighter 2 Vanilla, had 8 characters to fight with. This came out in 95, 3 years after Street Fighter. No excuse. None. 0. Atom Bomb is in this game and was meant to be one of the characters, one of the choosable characters that you could select. However, he too got axed. Bada bing. Much better. So Atom Bomb is in the game. All the assets are in the game. However, he's an incomplete character. I think you can play as him, but I don't know if his moves actually interact with the way that they're supposed to. So they meant to put him in here, but they axed him. I don't know for sure, but I think it probably correlates to the fact that maybe at the time, Adam Bomb, like they were trying to push Adam Bomb as a wrestler, but he wasn't getting over. So, because they gave him a stupid fucking gimmick, like, you know, he's radioactive. Or like, he looked cool. Like, he looked cool. But the actual background of the gimmick was fucking dumb. So it's 95. It's new generation, 94, 95, 93, 94, 95, new generation era WWF. Like the worst era of WWF. I mean, best in terms of hilarity. Was he really radioactive? He was not. No, he was not. He was Brian Clark of, what is it, Chronic fame. Him and, who's the other guy? He was Wrath? Yeah, he was Wrath. Yeah, Adam Bomb was Wrath. Not a bad wrestler. Like a solid, low, middle card wrestler. You know, big guy. He was born on 3 Mile Island. That's right. That's the Vince McMahon retcon for his entire history. Also, someone who was supposed to be in the game, Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect was supposed to be in WWF Wrestlemania, the arcade game. And I'll just read it straight from here. He was intended to be a playable character, but he reportedly no-showed the sprite capture sessions. As a result, he only has a minimal presence remaining in the files, 2 high score screens, 1 composited with a background and 1 without. He's got a character selection mugshot, and he's got an embossed name for an earlier version of his name asset when he wins. That does seem very much like Kurt Hennig. To just no-show something. He's just like, nah, I don't want to do that. And he just didn't go. And so he didn't get put in the game. That sucks, because I love Mr. Perfect. I love Kurt Hennig. Love him. Fantastic. After the back injury, he was a shell of himself. By 94, 95, it's not the same Kurt Hennig anymore. Like 91, 92. Even 92, his back was fucking with him. But 91, 92, that's quintessential Mr. Perfect. That's when he was the best. So, like, not bad whatsoever. Reception in the arcades. WrestleMania did exceptional. Being the 3rd most popular, here, I'll pop this up when I'm, being the 3rd most popular coin op upon release. Many lauded the detail done with the digitized mocapping. The sense of humor and charm went over huge with reviewers. And I agree. Like, the sense of humor and the charm is what made this game fun. And to be honest with you, like, I was never really like a huge fan of digitized graphics, mocap graphics, like the Mortal Kombat graphics. However, I think here is probably one of the best examples of digitized mocapping. Like, I think it looks and executes best here with WrestleMania. Not with the Super version that we're going to see. Mocapping looks a little shitty on the Super, but that's the Super's fault. That's not... The arcade version looks tremendous. It's fantastic. I recommend playing the arcade version on MAME. That's where you get the best version. Here is a promo poster of Bret Hart trying to do a side Russian leg sweep to a coin op. It looks ridiculous, but I love it. I've never seen it before till now, but I love it. There is a hidden developer message in the game in WrestleMania. If you enter in this code into the ROM somewhere, you get a developer message. Help me, I'm stuck in the ROM, cannot get out. He's still in there. He's still in there, guys. We never freed him. I just like, I like those kind of like little quirks when developers are being cheeky. I like it. I like it. And let's look at game prices. Game prices for WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game. It's funny how the populace decides what is valuable and what isn't. Because the game prices for WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game, loose, $13. Complete, SIB, complete in box, $40. New is still up there. New is still high. $287. I can see that. I mean, I wouldn't pay it, but I could see that as being reasonable for a new copy of an old video game from 1995. I feel like, or 1994. I feel like that's fair. $300 for a completely new, you know? Like, I don't think that's bad. that gives you an idea of, it's funny, the graded price is not that much different from new. So like based on the most recent sales. So I usually play it on MAME or PSX. Yeah, I played it a lot on PSX. I played it a lot on PlayStation. Definitely played the PlayStation version a lot. The loading times on the PlayStation though are like MAME is the way to go. If you have the option to play WWF Wrestlemania, the arcade game, play it on MAME. MAME is the way to go, for sure. That's the way it was intended. But we're gonna play the super version, the inferior, shittier version. But that is the version I played the most of, was on the Super. And this is one of those rare occasions where the Sega version of the game is technologically superior to the Super. The Super just, it's bad porting, I think, or just they cut a bunch of shit. So I don't know, man. It just don't hit. It just don't hit. We got some supplementary material real quick.
It is better to give than to receive.
Give it to him good when WWF Wrestlemania slams out of the arcade and into your home.
To thine own self be true.
With the most true-to-life wrestling you've ever seen.
Love thy neighbor.
But sometimes love hurts in the World Wrestling Federation.
Do unto others.
Do it to him first. WWF Wrestlemania, the arcade game for leading home systems from Acclaim. No pain, no gain.
Hey, WWF fans, the WrestleMania video game puts you inside the
I love Bam Bam.
Acclaim has brought home the arcade smash hit WrestleMania. With such great graphics, you just can't get any closer.
I can't believe it, man. It's like they put me right in the game.
This
I
companion
love Scott
video
Hall.
will make you a champion.
Absolutely
You'll
love
hear
him.
from the WWF superstars themselves as they give you secrets and strategies that can't be found anywhere else.
With these secret moves, you can bury your opponent.
This companion video is for use with Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, 32X, Sony PSX, and PC CD-ROM.
I always thought Undertaker was kind of cornball shit. I was never really like a huge fan of Undertaker, especially after finding out that he's the SS biker. He likes Nazi shit, neo-Nazi shit. Fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit. Not that like it's a huge surprise. Oh no, the Undertaker would be a racist? The same guy who had a Kid Rock gimmick? No. No. It's never a surprise to me when wrestlers turn out to be huge racists, you know? It's like, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Like, let's get in the game, guys. Like always, gonna lay out if we got something to watch. We don't. Looks like it's just gonna be demos. Maybe some dossiers. That's it. Nah, it's just demos. All right, let's get in it. Let's get in it. All right, we're in it already. Put 15 minutes on the shot clock. Bada boom. All right, we got Doink. We got Bret Hart. We got the Undies Taker. We got Razor Ramon. We got Shawn Michaels. We got Lex Luger. That's it. 6 characters. That's an anemic roster. Big roster, huge roster. All right, out of all of these wrestlers, Bret Hart is my favorite wrestler. But when I played WrestleMania, I was either Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, or Yokozuna. Like, those were my go-tos. So we're gonna be Shawn Michaels. We're going for the big one. Going for the big belt.
Tonight's matchup, Shawn Michaels versus
Oh man.
Mike the Clown.
Yeah, you can see the mo-capping. Oh man. And there is some slowdown because there's 3 characters on the screen. Oh man, Razor took out Doink. Ah, fuck. I was gonna say, are you serious? Already hit me with a Razor's Edge? Get the fuck out of here. Oh man, I want to get rid of one of the bad guys so I can fight this game, you know? Like, Jesus Christ. Look at this slowdown. Ooh, we got some chug, boys. I'm trying to see if I can remember my moves. I remember some of them. Oh, man. Wow. Is Doink out? Okay, see how it's much easier? Oh, fuck, we're dead. That was quick. That was quick. Didn't see that happening. It's also weird that, you know, it has rounds like a fighting game. Oh, man. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna make it the whole 15 minutes, guys. This kind of gameplay-wise, it's fun. It's still fun, but the slowdown is a little hard. It's a little rough. Oh man, Doink's fucking up his own guy. Yeah, get fucked. Duh, of course, Shawn Michaels' finishing move, the stomp from the top rope. I don't like having to do 3 rounds for the first level or any. It's not my thing, man. I'm not a fan of that. I might go to Google. I might go to YouTube after I'm done with this and show you guys some of the arcade combos, because you're not going to see a showcase from me. You know, like I'm not going to be able to show you the good stuff because I don't remember any of it. I was gonna look it all up and practice so I could wow you guys with my WWF Wrestlemania arcade prowess, but I did not. So the depth the game has is actually pretty laudable, you know? Like it does have a good amount of depth. Like to its fighting system. You can pull out some crazy Tekken combos. We'll be Bret Hart. Oh, hold on. Can we just do 1v1s? I think like the world wrestling, the world title is the hard mode, quote unquote, where you have to take on multiple characters at a time. I don't want the slowdown because I don't want to sit here and fuck. So we're gonna do Intercontinental because I think that's just 1v1. Yeah, okay. Oh, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. Oh, all over again. Survivor Series 97, the screw job. All right, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay, it's back. There we go. Boom shakalaka. Are you fucking serious? There we go. Oh yeah, get those eyes. Get them out of here. There we go. Love it. Winner. Me. It's kind of weird that when you pin, there's no 1, 2, 3. It's kind of strange. Don't know if I'm a fan of that, but you know. Get the fuck out of here. Were you guys a Shawn Michaels guy or were you guys Team Bret? Which one? I was Bret Hart all the way. Yeah, exactly. Bret was, I mean, Shawn was flashier, quote unquote, but promo-wise, they both kind of suck at promos. Bret only became a good promo when he was a heel and he was having a whine, you know? As the OSW boys put it, Bret was having a whine. Like, he was constantly complaining. But, I mean, his complaints were true. You know, they were legitimate. But I liked heel Bret in terms of promos. Like, I thought he was good then. Before that, Bret's promo ability, not good. Shawn's promo ability, also not good. Shawn has never been a strong promo. I don't care what people say. There are some people who insist that Shawn is a strong promo. He is not a strong promo. He's always kind of sucked at being a promo. But Shawn, when he was going through his, you know, especially in the beginning of his Degeneration X stage, where he left the shell of new generation Shawn Michaels, which was just kind of white meat babyface that nobody wanted or cared about. It was terrible. Terrible. Irish whip. That's a miss. And some people, you know, they make the detraction that Bret Hart has the same match every match. I was like, I don't necessarily believe that. He does do, you know, Bret Hart's 5 moves to doom, for sure, without a doubt, he does. I won't argue against that, but it's no different than Bret Hart or it's no different than Ric Flair doing it, you know? Like, the people, oh, look at that. That was cheese in his ass. The people come to see those moves. That's what they want to see. So, you know, he had the five moves of doom before John Cena ever did. Ah, we're just beating the piss out of fucking Lex Luger. Yeah, that's right. Reverse Bulldog. I don't remember how to do the combo, the super attacks. So, you know, we're just mashing. Pardon me. I don't even remember Bret's moves. I remember it's like quarter circles or back forward or towards. Like those are basically the move combinations. Hey, look who it is! It's Golden! We got Goldie here! We got ourselves a Golden! Alright, hold on, let me pause it so I can do a toast. I'll do a toast. We got a toast for old Goldie here. We got a toast. I'll pause the game time too. Bada bing, I had one prepared. I had one prepared for old Goldie here. A toast! A toast! A toast! To my uncle. He worked in a fireworks factory, got caught in an accidental explosion, blew the entire left side of his body off. That was years ago. He's all right now. There it is. There's your toast. What's going on, Goldie? What you up to, brother? You came here to watch this shitty, inferior SNES port? Like, oh, you like that, huh, Goldie? You like that terrible pun I threw in there? It's wordplay. Nothing much, just hanging out being lazy? Ah, it sounds good, brother. Sounds good to me. Not bad. Not bad. Goldie, how are you doing since you got traumatized by Frank raiding you and sending some of his fucking shitty-ass, degenerate cunts into your chat, just abusing the text-to-speech? I was like, damn. I didn't know that you had text-to-speech off, like you couldn't hear it, which is smart. When you're playing Toho, smart. Very smart. Smart man. He foresaw the consequences that come with giving chat text-to-speech. Like, who's this dude? That was he's one of Frankie's guys. Not one of Frankie's guys. He's just a guy that shows up and he got banned from the channel. Oh, so it turns out I actually had just the browser muted for myself. You were a smart man, Goldie. Smart man. So you didn't have to, you didn't get banned, you just got timed out. No, he got banned from Super RPG Friends. Giving you the backstory there, the background. Yeah, oh yeah. He got banned for being a cunt. Like, so, cunt law in effect. Don't be a cunt. Like, or if you're gonna be a cunt, be a funny one, you know? Jesus. Like York. You know? No, York's not a cunt. York's nowhere close to being a cunt. We're just gonna beat the fuck out of this clown. Hi! York's good people. Terrible at Tekken. Terrible. Worse than Vicer, but, you know. What can you do? What can you do? Ew! He was being fucking weird because of... Yeah, he was being very koomy. Super koomy, man. I was just like, bro, seriously? Then Joey told me some shit too, and I was just like, all right, never mind. Frank got rid of him. Frank fired him. But yeah, I was mildly surprised by Thursday streams. They get wild anyway, so it wasn't too bad. Nah, it's all right. Nah. Your moderator, he was on top of it. He was good. Oh shit, now we're gonna get hit with the slowdown. Gonna get hit with the slowdown. I find the Hitman is pretty quick, so he's good to use. Yeah, I like the Hitman too. Yeah, he's doing legit. Oh, now we're victim to the slowdown though. Oh man. Scott Hall, probably one of my favorite wrestlers that never got the world title. Granted, Scott Hall didn't necessarily need the world title, so, you know, it's not bad or anything. It's cool. But I love me some Scott Hall. Even though he was known for being a kind of a prima donna trouble starter in the back, you know, like, yeah, get fucked, Undertaker. That's a reversal. Is it forward, forward, back? Yeah, I'm with you, Vicer. I wish they made wrestling games more arcadey, you know? Instead of this like super complex 2K like UI. I don't like that shit. Ugh. Do those even sell well? The arcadey ones, they tried going back to like an arcadey, fun, gimmicky kind of, and it didn't really sell very well. Granted, the way that they were doing it wasn't very good. Like, it wasn't a very good game. Oh my God, are you serious? All the way from the other side of the fucking, man, we're getting pummeled here, boys. We're getting pummeled. I have bought all the 2K games except the newest one. Are you serious, Pfizer? I didn't know you were that big of a fan of wrestling. Wow. No shit, brother. I've only played a couple of the 2K iterations. I don't like how they do grappling in the 2K. Like the last one I played, I think was like 2021. I think. I don't know, man. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel right. It feels. Ugh. York and I just make dumb characters come up with dumb stories. Yeah, that's what you do. That's how you do it. Oh man, we're losing here. All right, well, what we're gonna do, oh, we got a second win. Oh shit. Oh shit, can we pull it out? No! Fuck, we were so close. We were so close. Oh God. Scott Hall actually killed a guy, so he's up there on Vader and hurting people. Yeah, although Hall wasn't another wrestler. It was justified manslaughter. The guy was drunk at a bar. I think they were both drunk. But he was drunk at a bar. Or no, Scott Hall was bouncing. He was just a bouncer at the time. He was doing what Stench did. It was actually kind of the same situation, yeah. Like, he did what Stench did, and there was a guy fighting, being rowdy and drunk, and Scott Hall killed him accidentally. Well, I mean, it wasn't accidentally. I assumed that, you know, during the scuffle, he was probably trying to fucking beat the fuck out of him, as one does when a drunk is trying to fucking, you know, beat the shit out of you or whatever. But what we're gonna do, guys, instead of I'm just gonna show you the combo videos. You've seen enough of the game. I only got 2 minutes left, so you know. So I'm just gonna show you a combo video real quick to give you an idea of what the gameplay is like. The actual gameplay. The actual gameplay. Oh, excuse me. The actual gameplay for Mamie. All right. So now we'll get an idea of like the actual depth of the fighting system. It's not a bad fighting system. Like, it's cartoony, Mortal Kombat-ish. Kind of like Killer Instinct. Kind of reminds me. The combos do.
I think he broke it. Incredible combination move.
Yeah, I wasn't doing any of that shit. I know how to do it, or I used to. Not anymore. I used to do the combos like crazy, man. Nice. Love it. Yakazuma. He's a menace. I love Yoko, man. Big fan of Rodney. It's crazy, man. Vicer's right. I kind of wish like the games were like this, you know? This kind of like high octane fucking Guilty Gear Strive 36 hit combo, you know? That's what I want. Undertaker had good combos. I liked his combos. Damn. Doink's getting free fucking choke slams. Reza. Ramo. Scott Hall was also huge. He was a huge dude. He had the quintessential look of a professional wrestler. He was like 6'6", I want to say, like 260. Big guy, big fucking guy. Hilarious. Scott Hall was so funny. Speaking of funny. It's actually got a surprisingly good amount of depth to the fighting system. It does. It does. It's not bad. It's funny because like I'm kind of a Lex Luger apologist nowadays. Like I feel like Lex Luger, I didn't like him at the time, but now looking back, I actually really did like Lex Luger. Like I dug him. Like he was America. He was all for America in the WWF. He was all super patriotic, super America. In WCW, he was over like crazy. During the NWO era, people were going fucking bananas for Lex Luger, which is strange, but they were. They were. Crowds went crazy for Lex Luger in like 1997. Criteria number 1 for the 15 minutes in which I played this game: was I entertained? This is going to be kind of hard to critique because I played the most inferior port. Like, if this was MAME, if this was the PlayStation 1, I would have been entertained. I would have been much more entertained because the gameplay is more fluid, the control is more fluid, there's less slowdown. There's like almost no slowdown with the MAME and PlayStation 1. So technically, you're right. All right, Vicer's right. He's keeping me honest. I was not entertained for the 15 minutes in which I played this game. It was not. I was entertained for like the first 2.5 minutes. And then when all the problems crept in, I was like, oh man, this is not as good as I remember it. I was like, but I would say I was not entertained. I mean, I literally rage quit with the last 2 minutes just to show you guys a YouTube video so you could get some content out of this, you know? So I would not say entertained would be the word. Not on this one. Entertained by the concept. But that's about it. So that's a no. That's a no. Criteria number 2. Now that I played this game, does my memory of it exist outside the lens of nostalgia? Also, no. The SNES version is the version I played the most of. Owned it as a kid. I played the fuck out of it. Beat the fuck out of this game. I mean, you wouldn't tell by the 13 minutes that you just saw me playing, but beat the shit out of it. However, now that we have revisited it 20 years later, not so good. Not so good. It's not so bueno. It's the memory core has been polluted. It's been corrupted. It has been marred. It's no good. It's not so good. If you're gonna play it, either play the MAME or the PlayStation 1 version, or if you have to, play the Sega version. The Sega version's actually not that bad. It has slowdown, but surprisingly enough, when I was reading the notes for this, the Sega version has less slowdown than the Super NES version, which I don't know how that works. And also, the Sega version did not axe Bam Bam and Yoko. Bam Bam and Yoko are in the Sega version, so I don't know what they did with the Super version. I don't know why the Super port was so shitty. I don't know why. I'm not sure. I don't get it. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Genesis does